The idea behind employee engagement is really to get people to show the same kind of dedication and effort that they do with things outside of the workplace in the workplace. In other words, if you could harness that same passion that somebody plays in a Saturday football league, or somebody applies when they go and do a painting course on the weekends or in the evenings or something, if you could apply that in the workplace, you're going to get a lot more out of your employees, and the company is going to function at a much higher level. It's really simple. In my research that I've done, we found that there are some drivers of engagement have a bigger impact on engagement than others. The two main drivers, the two things that actually has a disproportionate outcome or a significant effect, if you want to use the academic vernacular, is meaningfulness, psychological meaningfulness, as well as autonomy. So if somebody finds meaning in their job, if somebody has a space where they feel that they're actually making a difference, where they're actually contributing to a cause, or where they're contributing to something bigger than themselves, they tend to find meaning in their job. When you find meaning in your job, it's a lot easier to engage. It's a lot easier to engage with the job itself, as well as with the outcomes of the company. The second one that goes hand in hand with that is autonomy. Autonomy is basically the idea that the employee is then given opportunity to make decisions around their work and how and when they are doing their job, which allows them then to take full responsibility, both on the positive and on the negative side. So if I make a good decision, because I'm autonomous, I get rewarded for that. If I make a bad decision, I'm okay with it because I made the decision. I wasn't coerced into making that decision. So those two concepts, creating meaningfulness as well as allowing people autonomy in their jobs, are the biggest drivers of employee engagement, getting people to engage, to go that extra mile for the company and also in their own individual jobs. First of all, it's important because the research tells us that the largest part of employees in the working world are disengaged. In other words, people come to work, they clock in, they clock out, and there's nothing in between. So people tend to not really care about what it is they're doing. And if you don't care what you're doing, obviously customers are going to feel it, people are going to see it outside the organization. But it's not just that. When people are engaged, they experience something we call flow. Now, flow is a concept that was developed by a Hungarian psychologist and basically it's this idea of when you go to work and time flies. You're so involved in what it is that you're doing. You're challenged to the limits of your ability, but you have that feeling that I can cope. So this concept of flow was developed by a Hungarian psychologist, which describes the state that you're in when you're challenged to the limits of your ability, but you also feel that you can cope with that challenge. When people are in the state of flow, it's almost like it has regenerative qualities where people feel healthier and stronger, and they feel more committed to the cause when they when they finished a piece of work where they were in flow. And because of this, I mean, that reason alone will be enough to spend money and spend effort on trying to create employee engagement. But there's also a whole host of other organizational measurements, things like employee absenteeism, staff turnover, retention of training and learning. All of these kind of things are all connected to people who are more engaged in the workplace. And because of that, it's still a very important concept that we have to try to develop in our companies, in our organizations, to get people to be more engaged.